Welcome to the field, Booter Park, St. Louis, Missouri area. Today I'm going to do something slightly different. I am going to show off this plane in a different way at the field. It's unboxed. I haven't really opened up the box other than to take out the documentation. Everything is still in there, and I'm going to show off basically what is it like when you get this kind of plane, can you assemble it at the field, and what does that Maiden look like? Stick around. Wanted to see what all the hype was about. Had to get an Aeroscout. The folks at Hobbyzone Hobby, I told them that, you know what, I look at a lot of trainers. I don't know. I like the Apprentice. Is this any good? So they sent me an Aeroscout for me to take a look at. And what I want to do is look at it from, like I always do, that beginner perspective, right? So going through the whole process from a beginner, is this really going to do it for me? Can I just take this manual, take this plane, assemble it, and fly it here at the field with normal field tools? I'm going to take you through that process. Got wheels, landing gear. We've got carbon fiber spars. That to me looks like a horizontal stabilizers. Got a wing, 2 wings. We've got screwdriver and some threaded rods with thumb screw kind of things on, bind plug, Velcro, batteries, and the fuselage of the Aeroscout. I've been somewhat critical of the Aeroscout because I like planes that look like planes, and this one is not. Does not look like a plane, but I've heard wonderful things about it, so we're going to put it through the paces. We're going to put it together here at the field. How hard is that? And then we're going to fly this thing. I'm going to go through and follow the manual. The manual says I'm going to put on the landing gear. So let's take a look at the landing gear. Looks like is that plastic? Yeah, I think it's plastic. 2 little plastic dealies. Pretty simple. And according to the manual, they just slide in here. There was a little bit of an audible click when I did that. Slide that one in. And that was more audible. And now we got the front nose wheel. And there's a little set screw right here. And hey, how about that? We have a screwdriver. And I'm gonna unscrew that. Has a little flat spot on it. I'm gonna shove this in. Need to do it a little bit more. It's not going in. Oh, there we go. That went in. Tightening up the screw with the screwdriver. The screwdriver doesn't have a lot of grip on it. It's not the right type of screwdriver, so I'm going to get a different screwdriver. Got my handy dandy tool kit, and I'm going to grab a Phillips screw head for it, and oh yeah, much better. I'm going to torque that down pretty good. All right. That's simple. What's the next thing? Next thing is putting in these horizontal stabilizers. And it says these just slide on back here. Obviously we're going to need a carbon fiber spar. 2 of them, I'm assuming that this goes there. This slides in like so. And this slides in like so.
I guess I didn't have enough coffee or something to understand that the horizontal stabilizer elevator is a flying stab.
Doesn't really do anything other than just slide those pieces in. And that's that. Better check on, make sure I did that right. It's a friction fit. Fit will be tight. Use a credit card at the trailing edge to make sure there's a small 1 millimeter gap. So I need to make sure there's a little bit of a gap here. Just a slight gap, because how this works, I'm going to make sure there's just a little gap, which I can see through. I can see that there's just a hair of a gap. Okay, so now it should be able to move properly. Okay, use my handy dandy Horizon credit card. Good fun right there. All right, now we're going to put on the wing. I can't believe it's going this fast. Yep, next thing to do is install the wing. Pull out the plug, put the spar in, pull out the plug, slide the spar in, make sure the plugs are out of the way, and that's that. I'm going to plug in the ailerons. Make sure you have the signal wire or the black wires lined up. Different color, but let's just make sure you have the black wires in line with the black wires on the plug. And that goes there, that goes there. All right, we got some thumb screws here. We're gonna push these in. Oh, they're long. Jeez, do they need to be that long? Wow, pretty serious. Just double checking on this to make sure I'm doing it right. This one just, I think the little piece up here is a little tight, so it's got to thread through all that. It just won't push down like the other ones did. Okay, that's that. Got her assembled. That was pretty quick. Put in some batteries. This is the battery that came with it. Normally like to use a quality battery, like an Energizer or a Duracell, but we'll go with this. Turns on. Next step, install the battery. And it has a little strap here, and it's got a little Velcro. Just so happens this came with a little bit of Velcro, so I'm going to put that on here, but I'm going to cut it in half because I've got 2 batteries. So when I got this, I bought 2 batteries. And I took these home and charged them up. So these batteries are all ready to go. We're gonna put this right here for right now. and turn on the transmitter and plug this in. Let's see what happens. Okay, so you saw it go through a little thing where all the control surfaces were moving. And that is one of the safety things that well, not safety, but it indicates that it has safe already bound. When it goes through that process twice, that's what that means. We're gonna do a control surface check. You can see the elevator is moving, ailerons are moving, and while I'm doing that, you can see the rudder's moving at the same time. It has different modes with this switch here. This switch controls the mode, so you have safe mode, which means it's gonna self-level. This one right here is intermediate mode, which means you can bank a little bit more, but not too much. This one is AS3X only, which means you can do loops and rolls and do all kinds of cool aerobatic stuff. This switch, this 2-position switch right here has high rate, low rate, high rate, low rate. Same thing with the elevator, low, high. And that little amount does make a difference. That is how this is set up from a ready to fly perspective. We're ready to go. We have a throttle cut right here, which is a super important thing, meaning my throttle doesn't work. Watch this. Now it does. All right, we're gonna do a couple more tests and then we're gonna get it up in the air. We're gonna do a quick control surface check. Left, right, those are the ailerons. Left aileron should be up, right aileron should be up when I move the sticks in that way. Left aileron should be up, right aileron should be up, okay? Now I'm gonna pull back on the stick for the elevator, and the elevator should rise. I'm gonna pitch forward and down elevator, and it should go down. Then we have rudder, left, right. We're good. In order to test safe mode, and just really in order to make sure that the gyro is going in the right direction, what I often do, let me show you my test. I hold the plane like this in front of me, and when I move this wing up, this aileron is up and it's staying up. Just very slight, you might not be able to see it well. But I can tell it's staying up. That means it's in safe mode and the ailerons are working in the right direction. It's set up properly, the gyro is. When I move the elevator up, I could tell that the elevator is going up, or the tail. When I kick the tail up, the elevator is moving the up position. Because it's simulating, the plane is going down, it's trying to self-level, so it's gonna level it off. When I pitch up, like so, the elevator is pointing, basically it's trying to get the nose back down. And the rudder, it's hard to tell in this, but it's moving, whichever way you're pushing that tail, that rudder will go in that direction as well. So it's a gyro test, really important to do on these planes. All planes, if you set up a gyro, make sure the control surfaces are going the right direction. It's important that we have the proper center of gravity. And when you look at this plane, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It says right there, CG, center of gravity. If you put your finger there, put your other finger on the other side, the plane should be somewhat level. Now, I don't have the front on there, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna put the front on, hold by this, and this should be pretty level. If not, you move your battery forward or backward to get the proper CG. So let's say we wanted it to be a little more nose heavy. I'm gonna take this battery out and flip it around and move this 2200 battery a little further forward. Also, be careful of these, got these push rods and a lot of stuff going on back here. Make sure that your cables are not caught in those servos. So now, might have to make some adjustments there. That's too far forward. my hand on there. Not a whole lot different. We're gonna go with that. Looks pretty good. All right, we're gonna do a control surface check, make sure everything is working right. Then we're gonna do a range check to make sure that the control surfaces are working at range with that transmitter. And you can actually do a range check with these guys right here. The way you do it is we hold down this button here, and we're gonna have to flip this up and down. Now you need to do it after 5 seconds of plugging in the plane. So I'm gonna unplug the plane. It goes through its test, does all that. I'm gonna hold this button down. You hear that? Now we're in range test mode. So I'm gonna go walk back 30 paces.
I'm a huge fan of doing these range checks, which that puts the transmitter into low power mode. And in this particular case, you need to have somebody watching those control surfaces. So as you're moving the aileron sticks back and forth, you know, somebody can see that they're still performing after you walk back 30 paces. The documentation is very clear on this, and I highly recommend you test it, because you just never know when you get a bad receiver and all of a sudden it's just not working. Plane crashes in the ground. It's a big disappointment. Test that. Spend 5 minutes and test it.
All right, did my test. Looks good.
One last CG check.
Okay, we have this set up. I'm gonna take off in I'm gonna take off in AS3X mode and get it all trimmed out and everything. I can tell, look at the wheel is not going in the straight direction. It definitely wanted to go wonky. So we're gonna make a quick adjustment here, because I'm not giving any rudder. We got a serious problem on the ground. All right, let's take it back to the bench real quick and make a slight adjustment.
We got to straighten out that nose wheel. So what you do is loosen that little grub screw right there with the supplied Allen wrench, straighten the nose wheel, and then tighten that back down, that grub screw back down, and you're good.
Much better, much better.
Okay, we've assembled it. We've powered it up and bound it, made sure everything is working properly as far as control surface check. We've tested the gyro, and we've done a CG test. Now we're ready to fly.
Pretty good. One last directional check. Servos are working. There's that sound. That's one thing with this plane. Not as crazy about the sound, but it just is what it is. All right, facing into the wind. Let's get her up and get her trimmed. That was easy. We got a lot of wind here today at Booter Park. It's got AS3X running on it. I haven't touched trim yet, you've noticed, and it's just flying. On the downwind, it looks like the tail gets pushed down because there's a lot of wind up there. It's gonna be one of those days. So I'm gonna flip it into intermediate mode, and it has a bit of a climb to it because it limits a little bit. It's gonna act a little different. I'm going to put it in safe mode. Now it's in safe mode, which means self-level. And you got to give a fair bit of rudder to turn the thing. But it works very well. Give an aileron and a lot of rudder to get it to turn. I'm backing off the throttle to drop some altitude.
That's pretty easy. Go back into the other mode. There's AS3X mode. Does fine with basic aerobatics. Oh, but how does it land? Cut throttle completely, and I'm just gonna see how this. No, I better give it a little throttle. Just basically cut throttle and let her drop. No stalling, no nothing. This is a very stable blade. The control surfaces right now are set up at pretty low rates. But this is your ready to fly system. I'm gonna go back into safe mode for you, and let's do a landing on safe mode. Cutting back on throttle, making my base to final turn. Cut back on throttle because I want to drop some altitude. I'm lining up on the runway, no throttle. And I'm feeding in a little elevator right here. And there it is. Okay. The ready to fly Aeroscout from Horizon Hobby and Hobbyzone. These, I gotta say, pretty simple.